Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Tuesday, the 17th of June, Royal Ascot Day 1. I am flatcapcallum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Alright, we found ourselves at one of the big weeks of the year. In terms of flat racing prestige, it's number one. I mean, on the channel, we're a bit of a fan of the Galway Goodwood week, aren't we? But there's a lot to like about Ascot. There's a lot to get worried about when all these like 2-year-old races, Coventry Stakes 2-year-old race, 21 runners, only paying 4 places on most bookmakers. Unbelievable. Wide open race, and that's all the bookmakers are offering. Anywho, let's not get into that. Won't start it on a downer, will we? Alright, Ascot's on, caps on. That's what we're doing. That's how we're playing, guys. We're going positive intent all week. Game plan. The game plan is I am going to try my darndest to get the videos up in good time each night. That's my intent. Let's see if I can actually follow through with that intent. The plan is I'm researching Ascot basically a day ahead. So every day I get to the evening, I've already know what the plan is. Well, I don't really know what the plan is. I've already shortlisted and priced up what I want at Ascot. And then I just need to have a little bit of a look-see through anything else. All right? That's how the plan is it's going to work. Then each day I'll put out a bet that I've got. So anything that hits my rating system, that will form part of the main bet. And then we'll treat each day differently. So if I think there is a secondary kind of Ascot bet, an Ascot only bet, I was thinking, ahead of this week, it's probably going to be some combination doubles and stuff like that. Example being on Tuesday, I'm going to do a little extra lucky 15. So each day I might do a small stake, so smaller than normal channel stake, extra Ascot bet on top of anything the main bet. So the main bet could be anything. It could literally be 1 horse, it could be 2, it could be 5. I don't know. As far as Tuesday goes, I'm playing 3 horses at Ascot and 1 at Beverley in a main bet in a Yankee. That's the main bet. We've got the additional lucky 15, smaller stake than usual channel stake. So it's £14, 1-4 outlay for day 1. So that's how I'm going to play each day. Anything that hits my rating system, main bet goes out irrespective of number of horses. And then if I feel there's a secondary bet, give you an idea on Tuesday, when I went through everything at Ascot, I've got 10 horses that I am personally going to back at Ascot. And I think in the 2 combinations of bet I'm putting out on here, 6 of them are covered. All right. I know everyone's going to be like, just tell us what the other 4 are. I'm not here to spin everything out, and I'm not here to spin every single thing I'm possibly placing, because there might be some other things I do, time sensitive and all that kind of stuff. And I also do think, particularly whether it will play through a week, the place terms on offer on the non-handicap races are terrible, really terrible. 23 runners in the King's Stand, or King Charles III as it's now called, 4 places outside of Sky Bet. That's absolutely atrocious. 23 runners, and that's all it is. And the Coventry 4 places on 21 runners. You can have a speculative interest, but from an each-way betting point of view in accumulators, which is my game, it is really, really tough stuff out there. The handicaps on Tuesday are very good. You've got 3 bookies paying 6 places on the 5 o'clock. I think it's Paddy, Boyle Sports, and Sky. And then 1 or 2 are playing, definitely Sky paying 6 places on the 10 past 6 as well. If you've got Sky Bet and you bet 6 places, great. But even 5 places, a 16 runner and a 20 runner is good. I just didn't have loads for those races, because that was what my intent was, that I was going to be putting out an additional bet. All right. That's a long intro waffle, right? So welcome everybody who's a regular. Welcome everyone who is a festival regular, so you haven't been around since Cheltenham, Aintree, Punchestown, whatever, and welcome to anyone who's new. Just to make sure you've got the headlines here, the aim of this week is to have fun, right? If we can make some profit, that'll be delightful, but we're aiming to have fun. We're aiming to have a good community feel in the comments, right? If you're not into to higher price multiples, horses in multiples, then I'm not your guy, right? You go find a shorties fan, because there's lots of them out there. I am not going to be backing favourites in multiples. That's not what I'm doing. I think I have actually got a favourite. We'll put a caveat in my additional bet, but that's not my game. I go higher end of the market, looking for value, trying to string those together into multiples. That's what I'm doing. For the channel, I put them out in what I believe to be manageable stakes, but the way to approach a week like this is to say, how much am I able to lose? What is fun? How much would fun be in terms of watching the races? I don't go into the week thinking how much money can I make. If I make money, brilliant, right? That's great, because that's what I want to try and do with horse racing. But I don't go into the week thinking how much money can I make. I'm thinking I want to have a good week. From a staking point of view, if every single bet lost, what would be comfortable to lose? That's how I would approach it, right? So, I don't ream on here about safer gambling, because I think sometimes it's quite disingenuous. You see all of these like branded betting companies doing podcasts and videos on YouTube and stuff telling you to gamble responsibly, and the same token saying I've got this special offer and that special offer and sign up, and then they've got a bunch of people who are basically being paid to tell you which horses to pick, not people necessarily who are backing all of those horses. Anyway, that's another rant for another day, folks, isn't it, right? So here I am, unbranded, unaffiliated, independent, giving you my view. Win, lose or draw, that's what I'm giving you. We might win, we might lose. When I started the channel, 2022, we had a good Ascot. First 2 days we were really well ahead, and then the next 3 we lost, but we won enough on the first 2 to be comfortably ahead for the week. Second year of Ascot was a struggle. I lost the first 3 days, got a bit back on the last 2 days, but overall lost a bit. And then last year I was on a channel break, so I popped back for a couple of videos. I think I put 7 selections and all of them were out of the frame. So they're my 3 Ascots on the channel. The history of Ascot before that, that's for me to know, right? So I'm not here to say to you, gosh, I had an amazing Ascot in 2016 and I had this 80-1 winner and it was brilliant. I'm not about that. I'll only quote to you and tell you the actual stats for the history of the channel. All right. Quickly then, let's review. We had to review Saturday. Didn't play Sunday or Monday. Literally, I'd have put out a couple of horses, and because I knew it was going to be busy this week, I didn't want to just do a vid for 2 horses because I'm going to be playing Ascot all week. Saturday was a bad one. We had no good, non-runner because it was abandoned, no good. Literally, they were really just crap, basically. 12 on, £1 refund, 11 loss. So we lost last week. It was about 12. I think it was about 12 quid, something like that. 12 quid. So we'd won a few quid the week before. So we're going up and going down at the moment. So what we absolutely are looking for is a good connection bet, because we haven't had one this year. And to be honest, last year I only played 6 months of the year, but it was a real struggle to try and hit a connection bet. Whereas the previous couple of years we'd hit a few in the space of a year. So for another day, I am going to go through some stats around turnover, because it's not something I talk about a lot on here, and I think it's relevant to. There's been stuff in the comments last few days about things like variance. Well, no, there hasn't been, but there has been. Anyway, I'm going to do a video after Ascot, and on that video I'll talk about high variance, long-term variance, statistical data, and that kind of stuff. For those who are interested, basically the point I'm trying to make is, in the last 18 months on this channel, I've turned over basically half of what I did in the first full year. So in 18 months, I've turned over half of what I did in the first full year. I've turned over 60% of what I did in the second year in 18 months. Turnover has got much lower on the channel, and therefore the result means you might have to wait longer for a decent bet. Anyway, right. Stop waffle. Let's get on to it. Here's my main bet for the day. My 4 horses that hit my star rating. This is what we're playing. 2 9-year-olds on the flat at Ascot. Yes, come on. That's what we want. That's what the channel's about, innit, eh? Okay, so 2:30 Ascot. We're starting in the first race. Carl Spackler is my lean horse of the day. American original trained horse. It's switched trainers to an Australian trainer. This is its first run in Britain. Hasn't actually run in Australia yet. Supplemented for the race. I mean, they paid 53 grand just to run it in the race. Clearly, if you bought a horse of this calibre, you spent a lot more money, so 53 grand is a drop in the ocean. Usually, I would say paying 53 grand to supplement a horse is a particularly positive tick. In this situation, I'm not 100% sure whether that is or not. But the form in the US is absolutely cracking. Different style of track, Ascot, but I think the heat and the fast track should play to the horse's strengths. Whether or not it matches up with the UK horses on UK turf, we will see. But from a form point of view, it is up there with the best form in the book. If that form had been run on UK tracks, this horse would be the favourite for the race in my view. So I think it's a great price. 16s with a few bookmakers. I think it's fair price. There are 14s quite a lot as well though. So Carl Spackler's in. I should point out, I think Sky and Paddy are 4 on that race. I'm only claiming 3 for the channel. 5 o'clock then, we'll go all the way to the handicap Ascot, 5 o'clock. Zoffy, a bit of a favourite of the channel. Runs well in the Chester Cup, ran well in the Chester Cup last time. I think we backed it in the Chester Cup. We may have done. We've definitely backed it in a Chester Cup. I like the fact that Oisin Murphy's been booked on it. It'll get overlooked in the market because it's an ageing horse. But we may well just get good. I mean, is it going to win? Unlikely. But is it got chances of getting in the top 5 or 6? I think it's got a good chance, better than 22-1 would suggest to you. So. We'll play on Zoffy. Sky, Paddy, Boyle Sports are all paying out on 6th place. So my intention for the channel is to take 6 places because there's 3 major bookies paying 6 on that race. Then we're going 10 past 6 at Ascot. We're going My Mate Mozzie, another 9-year-old coming off the jumps. It's Gavin Cromwell horse. Warren Fenterman booked for the first time for the horse, but first time for Gavin Cromwell. Really good apprentice. It'll be first ride for him at Royal Ascot. I think the £5 coming off the horse is good. The best bit of flat form that horse ran was in this race last year, a £1 difference. So that's a really nice strong bit of form, and it was on decent fast ground. And it's been running well over jump still. So it's handicapped to be a framer in my view. So My Mate Mozzie's in, and I think the betting structure's pretty good because the favourites are looking pretty short in that one. The only interesting one actually with that one is the fact that last year all the pretty much first few home all were high drawn, and this year most of the favourites are in low drawn, and we're in number 6 here. So the whole thing could get spun on its head because if ultimately it goes through from like last year and it's high numbers, even though it's a longer distance race, the whole thing might look interesting. But from a form point of view, it was good. And then we're going to go 8:45 Beverley, Daring Leader, my non-Ascot horse. Christopher Kellett trains. He's in good form. He's hit 2 out of the last 5. And he's only been with him for the last 2 runs. But basically, the horse's best form, 100%, is on fast ground at Beverley, and I think 1 mile 2 is optimum. Even if it's lost a few pounds from the stable switch, what you've got is a slightly odds-on favourite, which is really pushing value up. But I'd be really surprised if this horse goes off anywhere near that price. So 9.50 is the bet. It's a 25p each way Yankee, 50p each way singles on all 4. Sky best, Paddy second best, Boyle Sports third best. So Sky are pretty good. Light's gone. Sky are really good for extra places for Ascot, absolutely. But Paddy clear second best, and Boyle Sports because you'll be able to get the 6th place on that 5 o'clock. All right, and then bonus bet for the day. This is my bonus bet. I might not do a bonus bet every day, but this is my bonus bet. Bonus bet is here. So these, you'll see there's 1 repeat horse, but the others are not starred. So they get recorded for profit and loss, but not in my horse statistics. 2:30 Ascot, Carl Spackler, as talked about. Then the 3:05 Coventry. I've already slated the fact that we're talking about 4 places for a 21 runner race, but Plough Blue has got the best form. The reason it's not favourite or vying for favouritism is because the others are all under the camp of what they could be doing in the future. Power Blue's got it in the book. It ran in a really nice race behind Albert Einstein that would have been favourite for this race, and it was only 3/4 of a length away. I just think because it's more exposed than some of the others, it's run 3 times. That's exposed for the Coventry. I think the market's being very, very, very good to us now. I really think that horse should be nearer to the single figure mark. So I think Power Blue's worth trying at 16s. 340 Ascot. I did debate about this because it is short, but this is a bonus bet. It's not a starred bet. If the Asphora for last year turns up, this horse is framing all day long. I don't think there's that much in the race in terms of new progressive sprinters, to be honest. It didn't have the same prep this time, Asphora, but it really enjoyed Ascot last time. And it is short, but I didn't want to play something bigger, bit riskier when it's 4 places on a 23 runner. So it's one of those ones. If it comes in the top 4, it's going to be look really obvious in it. If it doesn't come in the top 4, it will look like a terrible bet because it's a 4-to-1 shot. And then finishing off 5.35 in the Wolverton King's Gambit, I think that should be vying for favouritism. It's up there with the best form of anything in that race. It ran second in the Hampton Court last year, Group 3. This is a listed race. It then went on to be second, albeit a 4-runner, in the Sky Bet Stakes at York, which was a Group 2. So it's got some really, really good form. The ownership have got a lot of runners. I think it's got 4 in that race. I make that the best of them. And it was worth playing in there. So that is my bonus bet. It's a 15p, so not usual stake, 15p each way, lucky 15, £4.50 to go with the main bet, which is £9.50, which makes £14. Sky our best, Paddy our second best. All right, that's my £14 play for day 1. I'll see you on the next one, hopefully, similarly, a not too late upload by channel standards. So we'll try and get everything out before 11 o'clock. That's the aim. All right. See you in the next one. I hope you enjoy Ascot Day 1. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.